Good evening.
Anybody want water while I'm up?
No, thank you. I just
I'm
went
good,
down.
thank you.
Bill, Kathy, you want water?
I'm good, thank
good.
you.
Okay.
I'll have to get up to go too many times if I drink some water.
Is it recording?
I believe so.
I call this Hermosa Town Board Tuesday, November 21st, 2023, regular meeting to order at 6 p.m. At 6:02 p.m. Roll call. Ferguson,
Here.
Hendrickson,
Here.
Hallsworth, Kramer,
Here.
Stiles here. Dan's gonna be late, he's doing something in town. Thank you, Bill and Kathy, for attending the meeting. Thanks, Mitch, for being here. Let's all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call for changes, review the current agenda. I request a motion to accept the agenda as presented / amended.
I'll make that.
Motion by Vicky,
President.
I'll second it.
second by Linda. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed say same. Motion carries. Under special items, meeting protocol, if the comment is not true, pertinent, or part of the solution for moving forward in a positive manner, please refrain from making the comment. There won't be no adoption of any special rules of order at this time. Consent calendar, I request a motion for approval of the November 7th, 2023 regular meeting minutes as presented / amended.
I'll make that.
Motion by Vicky,
I'll second
second by Donna. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Conflict of, item number 7 on the agenda, conflict of interest declaration. Board members are responsible to refrain from discussion and voting on agenda items that they have a conflict of interest on. Claims. I request a motion to approve the claims as presented / amended. And I think there's a copy under your potato chips, I think.
it. I'll make that
Not my
motion.
potato chips. I don't know who's there, but
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by
I think
Vicky?
Gail left them because she finished mine.
I see.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Donna. Any discussion on the claims? If no questions or discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed say same. Motion carries. Law enforcement abatement complaints. We don't have a marshal yet, so we don't have a marshal report. The Custer County log is attached. I don't know if there's anything on it that anybody wanted to bring up.
I noticed there's an awful lot of Ferguson Street on there.
What you been doing, man?
Have you been causing trouble down there, Donna?
I'm not trying to, but I did notice that. Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Extra patrol every day.
Vandalism,
special.
shoplifting, we don't see that one very often, but that was on there this time, I noticed. Threats, disturbances. Harassment. Nobody, don't have a cop to talk to, but these are things I probably would have asked about.
Yeah.
What? Nothing. I'm just feeling your shirt. I just turned and seen it, and it's pretty, thank you. Just had to confuse you a little
Yeah, you
tonight.
did.
Okay.
Well, it's all extra patrol on Ferguson Street.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like every day, I
Yeah.
can't get the dates.
Yeah,
There must
give the
be-
time.
So
oh,
do
for
they
the
charge,
time.
are we charged for that, or is it
No,
a set
no.
amount?
Set
Or set amount, okay.
2,300 is what? Midnight?
Yeah, right now we don't have a
11 o'clock. Yeah,
That's why I don't see them driving.
you're right. Uh-huh.
Yeah, at this point in time, we don't have
Yeah,
a
they
contract.
just, they must
with
have a
them, so.
route, they just,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, if no further comments on the Custer log. I request a motion for the BOP president to sign the dispatch contract with Custer County Sheriff's Office.
And how much is the dispatch, how much is the
I
contract?
think the contract,
Same exact as it was the last
about
time.
$8,000, I believe.
80.
Yep. $8,000 should be made to the county by the town in quarterly installments of
And that's the
$2,000.
9/11 call, right?
Yeah. And it's 8,000 quarterly due by the first day of each quarter.
Quarterly?
Yep. That's what it says.
I thought we were paying 8,000 yearly.
No, it's 8,000 yearly in four
Paid
four
for
installments
Okay.
of $2,000
Okay.
each. So,
Have we done that in the past?
So the total is
Right.
8,000.
yes.
And we pay us $2,000 quarterly.
We'd have
Right.
to ask Gail for sure, but you might want to just highlight that so you know. So.
Yeah, I'd make that motion.
Motion made by Vicky.
Do I need my name tag again?
No, no, I got her.
Okay.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Linda. Any further discussion? And one thing we might want to do is if it is going to put into our suspense system to make sure that we see, so that does come up the meeting prior to the first day of the quarter so we can get it approved each time. Oh, no, if we're approving it now, we just pay it every time. Okay,
Right.
yep, yep.
Oh, so it doesn't have to.
No, it doesn't have to be on the agenda, but we just have to make sure it gets paid every time.
Yeah.
If no further discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Abatements. Donna, is there any update on the prairie dogs?
Well, I can't remember if I talked to the gal from Mostly Chocolates last time. Did I report on that last time?
No, not yet.
Okay, the gal at the end of Marie Street, I went into her shop, she wasn't there, so I left my card and she called me back. And she said that the county took care of her and she's very happy right now
Okay.
with the prairie dogs. We have not been able to get a hold of anybody at the drive-in. And so I guess, do we want to go ahead and
Yeah, we'd want to
write
send an
a letter
abatement,
to
just send an
the,
abatement letter.
and
yeah.
send an abatement letter to the drive-in so that they can get them taken care of. So they, unless we have to do it ourselves, they have to pay for it, correct? And then if we have to abate them, then we'll do it and charge them.
Yes, go ahead.
The property, the theater property is for sale.
Well, yeah, I
Right, so
know.
you might have better luck getting a hold of the realtors rather than the owners, and we've had to do that many times before.
Yeah.
The
Good idea.
realtors want the work done. They don't want the hassle, you know, when
Yeah.
people are looking.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you
Mhm.
can't,
I'll
I
have to look
would,
and
I
see
would,
who they-
I would think you'd make a certain amount of time, keep trying to get a hold of the owners, leave messages, but if you don't get it, you need to go through
Well,
the.
and also Connie and Cheryl have, you know, because they're wanting to work, you know. And, they did call, but he never called them back neither, so.
And I
I
think
will
mention-
get
yeah,
a letter out. I'll have,
Jill do a letter.
I'll have Jill, do something about it, and then I'll have to go down there and look and see who's got, do you know who's got that for sale?
Can't remember,
Uh,
it's KM or something like that.
Something-
Wilson or-
Something different.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought that one that's out there by the highway, I thought that was for a house that's down there though.
no, the one
No, it's-
underneath the sign is like KM
Oh,
something.
I don't know,
remember.
I'll check on that, who the realtor is, and then we'll go from that. As far as our other abatements, we've had some anonymous ones, we've had some phone-in ones, and one couple of them are complaining about alleyways, and I guess, what do we do? Do we wait until spring now, or do we pursue the whole thing over again, or what are we thinking we wanna do on the abatements that didn't take?
Cause if we
that-
do one, we've gotta do them all.
Well, one
Yeah.
of the things that, it must have been about 3 meetings ago, is that we were gonna go back and, you guys were gonna go back and relook at the ordinance
Right.
and come up with the ordinance to make sure that it's clear when we're gonna say we're gonna, on the abatement stuff, so.
And another
We have
thing
not
that
done
needs
that
to be taken in consideration is all these unlicensed vehicles around town that are just sitting in yards.
And when we did have the marshal there for those 2 months, if it's an unlicensed vehicle and it's in their private property, we can't do anything about it.
Even though it's sitting.
Yeah, that's,
But how many can they have?
yeah, and that's why we gotta go back and redo our
Right.
ordinance so it's specific. Mitch, what do you think?
I'm not gonna speak to that, cause I haven't looked at the ordinance,
Yeah,
whether it would be covered now or not.
yeah,
Well, I
I
would,
didn't bring my
I don't know, I would think in a driveway, there should be a limit on how many vehicles you can have just sitting there.
Well, one man's junk is another man's treasure.
It used to be that if you had an unlicensed vehicle in your yard or in the right of way, you had to have it tarped.
yeah, and if it's if the unlicensed vehicle is in the city right away, and then the city could do something, or the marshal could have done something, but if it's on private property, they can't.
Okay, I'm gonna look that up before the next meeting about licensed vehicles.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, I request a motion to remove agenda item 7C from the agenda.
Make that motion.
Motion by Linda,
Second.
second by Vicky. Any discussion? That's the Custer County.
Yeah.
Okay, if no further discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say same. No opposed? Motion carries. Under legal, we're still carrying the engineering expense reimbursement, and I believe we'll be talking about that, some of those items later today in the executive session. Okay, I request a motion to approve as written the declaration for signing permits that has been updated since the workshop based on input from Jill. Can I get a
Make that.
motion made by Vicky,
I'll second that.
seconded by Donna. And if we go back and look in 8C, there was the draft.
8B.
8B. Start at 8B.
Yeah, 8B. I got some of my stuff in here. And this is kind of what we had from our work session. Working with Jill on it, some of the items that changed, if you go down through it, is that any of the bot go down to, okay. Down like under the digging and grading permits, you
Yeah.
know, it's a pre-inspection, office approval, if they're comfortable with it. If Jill's not comfortable with it, or there's some issue on it, and she can't get it resolved, either by contacting our city engineer or one of the board members, and she doesn't feel comfortable signing it, then it goes to the Board of Trustees. And yes,
So Jill's gonna be doing this, so, this is outside the office. So she'll have to use her vehicle to get there. And, I mean, is this something she wants to do? Is this something really that an office staff should be doing? I'm just,
She is on far some of this stuff, you know, especially like down the later you will see the residential building permit. She has a check sheet put together of all the things that Leah looked at, and then she uses that to look at the packages that come in. There will be, and we didn't even have the engineer do this before, but when they did get done with the digging, we go out and measure the hole to make sure, because what our permit is that it's $50 for the first 100 cubic yards, and then it's $20 per 100 cubic yards after that. So we gotta go out and measure it. But no, she's ready and willing and want to take on the responsibilities, so.
that's my biggest question.
And as far as, you know, if it did come up to an issue, then we can just give her, she can just get mileage, just turn in mileage for a vehicle. And we could always ask her that, so. But she hasn't mentioned that, so.
Okay.
And then one of the other things that, under the residential building permit, you know, same thing, the pre-inspection, you know, Chuck might be doing some of those pre-inspections under his contract. And the site visit, the office can do it if they feel comfortable, or it has to go to the engineer of the bot. It just depends on what it is, but she's very familiar. She has
Yeah.
worked with, with interstate engineering, then with Leah, she has a really good handle on where it's at. And before, when she was gone, we didn't know who was gonna be there, so we couldn't really delegate anything, but now she feels comfortable with it, so. Okay. Any further discussion? Anything from the audience? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say same. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is, under legal, is C, add a non-voting member to the bot from outside the city limits and within 1 mile.
Yeah, I looked into that. I wanna read a couple statutes. My conclusion is that it's not, allowed. SDCL 9-7-1. The Board of Trustees of a third-class municipality, which we are for now, shall consist of not less than 3 nor more than 5 members, 5, we already have 5, elected at large, they have to be voted on. Each shall be a legal voter of the municipality. So by definition, a legal voter means you have to be registered and you have to live within the corporate limits of the town. So by definition, you cannot appoint someone who doesn't live in the town, someone who hasn't run for office. There's several concerns that I would have if that happened. One would be the attorney-client relationship. This person is not really considered a board member by statute, therefore I would be concerned about them having access to attorney-client privilege information. Number 2, they would also, if they're a board member, have the right to attend executive sessions, which actually they wouldn't be. And number 3, they would have the right to be paid, which I don't think we could use taxpayer dollars to pay that person. So my conclusion is no. You can think of a different mechanism to accomplish that. We can take a look at it. But to call that person a trustee would be.
No, yeah, I guess we
It's
wouldn't.
not gonna,
Yeah.
in my opinion, it's not something we want to get into.
Because the reason I bring it up is in the past, they used to have that on planning and zoning.
I wouldn't feel so concerned about a planning and zoning member as I would a board of trustee member, because the
Yeah.
public's perception isn't any different.
Okay.
they think they're here at the meeting, they're gonna sit up here at the dais and participate and, you know, just try to figure out some other mechanism, maybe that they could start their own organization, have a, you know, call it the 3 Mile subdivision LLC or something for Hermosa or whatever, but,
Okay,
so that's my conclusion.
alrighty. Thank you very much, Mitch, for looking into that.
Welcome.
The next item is Jody's oath of office. Mitch, will you?
Sure.
Will you perform the oath of
Do you
office?
have one?
Yes. Can I, would you mind if I spoke first here? Is
Oh,
that
yeah.
all right? Thank you. You've been here 3 weeks? And, how are you feeling about it?
Better.
Better. So in other words, the first week was a little tough, was it?
You know, this morning it was even tough, but you know, I actually made some progress today and I feel a lot better about it. But
Okay.
it's going to be a challenge.
It is, yeah.
There's no doubt about that.
You've never worked government before?
No. Well, I can't say that. I worked for the Department of Labor for 10 years with the federal government, but not in this capacity.
Not like this.
No. So I've got to learn that all on top of everything else.
So, that being said, is it different than you expected?
Yeah. You know, originally I was hired on for admin.
Yeah, assistant, you know, to
Right.
Jill's job, and then Jill decided she wanted to come back, so we got with
Right.
Jody, and she wanted to step up.
Yeah, and when I was asked, I was still kind of in the middle of, you know, a little bit of wooziness. I should have probably asked a little more. I think I'm capable, but it's
You
going to
definitely have
take
the
a while.
qualifications.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff I've done, if you've seen my resume, is from quite a while ago. Not afraid of the computers, not afraid of any of that stuff, but it's, and there's so much going on that to sit down with Gail, like today's the first day we actually sat and did a report together. And it made me feel so much better because now I'm looking at, oh, I know where those numbers came from because I put them in. And it's going to take that. My fear is she wants to be done sooner than we were thinking, and that's going to be hard. That being said, everybody has treated me tremendously well, even tonight, to convince me that I could stay and Gal could go home. That I think there's the backing, and Jill has been more than willing to, don't worry about it. I'll come in and help you if you have a computer problem. My ideal would be to come in and at least go through every process twice with her, but I don't think we're gonna have the time to get that done.
She's looking at being here until the 1st of February is when she
She
wants
told
to
me
be done.
January this past week. She's pushing it up.
Oh, 1st of January?
Yeah,
She hasn't
and
told me that,
our
so.
schedules have not coordinated. I still have a lot of doctor appointments, and I was also thinking I was coming in part-time. But I feel that until we have someone else hired, I'm just gonna have to learn it all. But I'm also limited to how many hours I can put in a week anyhow.
Yeah,
There was times I thought this is way over my head. There's no doubt it's a totally legitimate question you're asking. But I prefer not to quit. I prefer to stick it out, and I think it's good for me to do it at this point in my life.
Good.
I do hope it doesn't turn into full-time. That's going to be hard.
no,
And then I'm gonna resent it.
we actually are put together the advertisement for
Right.
another.
And I did say this time of the year, it's fine. I can work however many hours, and hopefully I can get it all figured out. But,
What I can tell you is that as long as I have been with the town and talked to the finance officers, they all say that the difficulty is that, you know, maybe you only do one thing one time a year. So
Right.
once a year.
right.
So even if you do it this month, next December's gonna come along and you're gonna be like, oh, God, I was brand new back then and how
Oh,
did I
right.
do that? And, you know,
Yeah.
and not that you can't get help for that. I'm not,
Right, and it
but-
does seem like there's a lot of, and starting to figure out where, there's a lot of training, and I got to thinking, I'm not the only person coming into one of these positions all across the state.
Exactly correct.
And the support and the whatever is, you can find answers. I get a little worried about the deadlines, but I think Jerry's pretty up on it. Once they get the normal routine down, and I am fortunate, I will get the end of the year stuff done with her because she will be here for that. So I will at least have been exposed to it. So I'm just gonna have to plug in and give it an honest effort.
So you truly do not want full-time?
I don't think so, unless I just totally live and breathe and love the job. But I'm 58 years old and I have a big acreage to keep up. If it moves to that, you'll be the first ones to be told, and it might be just what I needed. I don't know.
Okay.
But
And so legally, Mitch, is a finance officer is kind of defined in the state regulations, isn't it? Of what all they have to do and this kind of thing?
It says what they can do, it says, there's not a list.
the handbook had some things that I had read through and required, they are required to go to the board meetings, that type of thing.
Yep, sign.
And I can see that,
We're getting her set up to sign checks and sign everything.
I can see now, like Gail said, this is where you figure out what's going on during the week, and I get that now. Because she's got her hand on everything.
Yes.
So, but as long as you guys are willing to,
We want to see you succeed.
And the thing is, when we were looking before Gail came, we interviewed people, we looked at people, and they didn't have the background you had as far as education, and they had zero experience either with federal government, with state government, or city government, let's get down to the bottom here.
well, if you beat it into me 10 times when things are due, there's a point that I don't like to get in trouble, so.
No, there's things to do.
You're not gonna
The
get in
finance-
trouble.
I think, did you see the link I sent to you?
Yeah, I haven't had a chance
Yeah, but
to
anyway,
look at
I
it.
sent her a link from the South Dakota Municipal League with all the training stuff. And there's quite a bit of training coming up. And there's a morning session and an afternoon session coming up on the budget.
Okay,
So,
that would be good to
not on the budget, but on the voting.
It would be nice if like Gail could write up like just for the month, this, and I understand it's in the back of there and that, but it would also be nice if she literally had time slots in the day to do, like the agenda, because it keeps getting pushed off. So then I didn't get to be part of, setting that up, and then I'm gonna be gone, and so then I'm gonna miss it again, but it would have been nice, but there's always interruptions, that's the problem, you can't,
Right.
And you never will. There
No.
will always be.
right,
Nobody's ever been able to make that hourly.
no,
Uh,
no, you can't.
So, my main concern is that I know, I've been around for several different finance officers. I know that all of them have said it was way more and way different than they had expected it to
Right,
be.
right,
And my concern was that the fact that you wanted to work part-time and I know that, that you do have to be at the meetings, that it's
Right.
just
and it's required.
it's required, it's just
Yeah.
a thing. Not everybody likes working nights. So my concern here, of course, as it should be, is the concern for the citizens' dollars.
Right,
And that's what pays for everything in this town. It's not any private money at all, it's all
Right.
citizen tax dollars. And so my concern is that if you truly don't like it,
right,
in my opinion, I would rather see you quit now.
oh, I agree.
I don't think she wants to quit now,
Well,
Linda.
I'm not talking to you, Jerry.
Well, no, excuse me, but that's not where we're going with this.
No, I'm just saying, I don't think she wants to quit either. We got oath of office on the paper.
Well, and when I saw that, I agree with what you're saying, because it's me, I don't wanna invest your guys' time if I think, and that's where I've had to decide in the last couple of weeks that I've been at, am I gonna stick with it? Yeah. I hope it goes the way it should. There's no guarantees, of
Never,
course.
never a guarantee, but
But if I can figure it out, I think I would enjoy. And I told Jerry from the beginning, I hate to be bored. I hate to sit in an office and not do something.
oh, yeah, I
Twiddle
don't
my
have that
thumbs.
problem here.
So that I'm going to enjoy. That's I thrive on that.
Okay, good.
But that being said, I don't know what I'm walking into totally. I have a pretty good idea.
After 3 weeks, you've seen a lot in 3 weeks.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
there's no doubt about that.
And like I said, if I had not had that chance to do that little report today, that made me feel a whole lot better. That's the first time in 3 weeks we said, and it was just an easy one, granted. But I'm like, well, now the computer stuff doesn't scare me at all. That part,
Good.
that's fine. So
Okay.
I hope.
Well, and
You know,
and I hope it's
I
just
agree.
you know, like I said, I've been here, and I feel like I need to ask those questions. I was not in on the hiring process or any of that,
Right.
so I don't know what was said or what has been said, or you know, I don't know exactly what you've done in your life, and not that I need to know.
Right.
I'm only concerned about the citizens' money,
Right.
and
I agree.
and training is, you know,
Very time.
very very.
It's very time consuming, and that's probably part of what frustrates me too.
Sorry,
I
Nick.
felt I've gotten very far because of everything. There's just a lot right now,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But I'll get in. We'll just give it an honest effort. That's all I can
Yep.
say.
Okay, very good.
He thinks we can make it work. We'll figure out how to make it work.
Okay, thank you.
So
I appreciate that.
you might be typing agenda meetings come
No,
next
I
year,
don't.
but-
I'm the sewer goddess, remember, not the typing goddess.
Okay, if
I
no
would-
further discussion, let's
I
go
would like to
ahead.
say one
Yes,
thing.
ma'am.
I have worked with Jody in a different field of work, and she's a very pleasant lady to work with, very nice to her customers, and I honestly think she's quite an asset to this town office.
Thank you.
And so do I, when we looked at her resumes, which were presented to the board, and the board got to look at them. And the way the hiring procedure is working now is that the committee goes out and does it, and then brings to the board and asks the board to approve. In the past, how it was done, the committee just hired them without coming and getting the board approval. Yes, that's exactly how Monica was hired. There was nothing in the meeting minutes before or after about it, because we went back to look to see how we had to do things. So, but anyway, no further, let's do the oath.
I was not in the hiring committee on that either, so.
You ready?
Okay.
Stand up,
Is there cake?
raise your right hand and repeat after
Hey,
me.
yes, there's
Right
cake
hand.
afterwards.
I, Jody Simons, or is it Simmons?
Simons.
Simons. Having been hired to the position of finance officer within and for the town of Hermosa, you gotta say that.
I, Jody Simons, having been hired to the position of finance officer within and for the town of Hermosa,
Said county and state,
in said county and state,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United
the
States,
Constitution of the state of South Dakota,
the Constitution of the state of South Dakota,
and the ordinances of said town of Hermosa,
and the ordinances of said town Hermosa,
and that I will faithfully and impartially,
and that I will faithfully and impartially,
to the best of my knowledge and ability,
to the best of my knowledge and ability,
perform all duties of said position of finance officer.
perform all duties of said position of finance officer.
Okay, let's see, I think this isn't done right. She has to sign it and I'm supposed to notarize it or whatever.
Not the correct one?
She needs to sign the oath.
Yep.
There should be a date for her to sign and then meet him, kind of witness it.
Thank you.
So we can probably do that later. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
I was looking to see if there was one in the packet that was, nope, same one.
Same one.
Yeah.
Sorry,
All right,
but we'll get it taken care of.
okay.
All right.
Well, congratulations and thank you.
Well, thank you. Cake and balloons and,
I didn't mean to take the wind out of the.
That's what I didn't either.
Next item on the agenda, I request a motion authorizing Jody Simons to sign the bank signature card. Motion made by Vicky,
Second it.
seconded by Linda. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say same. Motion carries. I request a motion to remove agenda items 8, B, C, D, and E from the agenda.
Make that.
Motion made by Vicky. Do we have a second?
B, C, D, and E?
Yep.
Yes, I second it.
Seconded by Linda. Any discussion? No one's fishing? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed say same. Motion carries. Under engineering, the Hermosa sidewalk project. Pending the final bill from South Dakota DOT. I talked with Gail before she left tonight, and she's been trying to get a hold of the finance person up in Custer for the South Dakota DOT, and that person has not returned her calls. And so what we need to have you guys do is get a hold of Mr. Zonker. Zocker. Get hold of Mr. Zocker and ask him specifically what's going on. He's the one that runs the office. Because we really would like to be able to get the bill come in and get it on the claims and get it paid this year. And it's one of the items that, the sidewalk project's been going for 5 years, 7 years, somewhere around there. And so we're gonna this is when it's gonna be part of what's gonna be part of the redoing what's it called on the budget? Supplemental budget, so, yep. So we'll look into that, or you guys can look into that. The sewer project of the Lagoon Design Expansion, a construction easement between the town and Negebauers is being written up by KLJ, is drawing it up, and it will be ready for the town to approve it on the 5 December 2023 meeting. And at that point in time, after the town decides that it goes, and then we're gonna have to have probably Linda to go out and visit with them and see if they had any concerns, so. And they're kind of basing it on what some of the things that they've talked about in the verbal stuff in the past. So KLJ will be working that
Okay.
and then submitting it to us, or to the board. Town of Hermosa Water and Sewer Extension Project, it's pending.
Do we need, excuse me, I'm going back, do we need you have a spot for a motion on that, on the construction easement?
No, because what I did was, I thought I was gonna have to have Mitch
Okay.
write it up, but no, they're writing it up.
Very good, just making sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
KLJ is right now.
Yeah, KLJ's doing it, as it's all under their, project of the setting up for bidding and the construction management. But no, when I put this together, I thought it was gonna be Mitch, so. Town of Hermosa Water and Sewer Extension Project, that's still pending. First thing under the KLJ engineering items, task orders, is lagoon bidding and construction management. The following issues are being worked. The Fonzie's from South Dakota DANR is, we need to get that from them. The action item is that the town needs to have a conditional letter of map revision prepared and sent to the state. This action is being accomplished by KLJ. After the Clomers, what the conditional letter of map revision, Clomer, is presented to South Dakota, they will be issued the Fonzie to the town, and it will need to be placed in the Custer Chronicle at that point, and there will be a 30-day wait period before construction can start. So that's one of the items that we need to get done.
Yeah.
The next item is the signature of the 05-2023 Clean Water State Revolving Fund issuer resolution and the 06-2023 surcharge for improvements to the sewer system resolution. This is being accomplished, this will be accomplished in this meeting, then they both will have to be placed in the Custer Chronicle. The next item is pumping of the lagoon action items. We're kind of waiting on a letter from the state that they said we're gonna come. That may not come. One of the things that they talked about is that our possibility that we could discharge into Battle Creek. One thing after talking with, and looking at the property down there, there's 2 wells that are probably from me to Bill away from the edge of the Battle Creek. And so those wells are directly influenced by Battle Creek. So a little concerned about pumping. They're pumping down them.
What are the wells for? Are they just for watering
No, they're their drinking
purposes?
wells.
They're drinking, and they're that close to the creek,
Yeah.
and interesting.
Yeah.
Mine's not even 20 feet from the creek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even Rapid City has, some of their
So,
wells are real
next to
close to
Rapid,
Rapid Creek
yeah.
because what they do then is just, what they're doing is actually they're drawing water out of there.
Right.
But-
Interesting.
So with all that said, I request a motion to have Ferguson Construction set up the balloon system to have pond B and C run in surcharge. This would be a time and materials contract. Some of that stuff I took
Sampling
out.
will be required.
I took out the, yeah, you're looking at my old motion there, I took out, I lined through isolate pond B from A and A from B and isolate from C and set up pond C to be pumped and discharged to the concrete. I took that out of
So
my,
starting with isolating pond B.
isolating pond B all the
Okay,
way
got it.
to creek is not in it.
Thank you.
Okay.
I was
So
a
it's
little
like,
confused
Can we
right
just
there.
talk about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I'd make that.
Motion made by Vicky,
I'll second that.
seconded by Donna. And I'll be, and on the discussion, I guess we've already had a little bit of discussion on it, but I just don't feel comfortable putting water that close, in the, in the
Oh,
creek.
well, I was already thinking that everything we had talked about that needed to be done to accomplish that was probably gonna be more expensive than the actual trucking of it if we needed
Yeah.
it.
Mhm.
The only thing that I hadn't totally put on paper yet, put the numbers on paper yet, was if we were eventually gonna need that system anyway, then we might as well do it. You know what I'm saying? So,
Oh, for running the.
yes.
No,
uh-huh.
we do need to run the ponds B and C in surcharge.
Yes, I know that, but I was talking about the,
Oh, yeah,
whatever you wanna call it, drain, whatever.
yeah, going
Yeah,
going
going
south.
to the creek.
at some point in time in the future, you know, because in order for Hermosa to really grow, we're gonna need to have a discharge permit where we actually discharge, and it'll be a system in conjunction with the lagoons in order to do that.
And should we just make a call to the state to inform them that those 2 wells are there? And,
Well, I was gonna wait until I get a letter from them, then I was gonna call and talk with them on it,
okay,
and just say, yeah, we can't do that.
yeah, very good.
But,
I mean, they should know that.
yeah. Because what they were gonna base it upon, and kind of what Kyle says, I mean, well, what is, you know, we're gonna get our analysis, and then, based upon analysis, they're going to look at what flow rate we can do, based upon the flow, and they have flow monitors on Battle Creek, that they would give us a limit where we wouldn't have an issue. But it's not a, you know, the flow changes, you know, I just don't wanna run that risk, so to do it that way, so. Any further discussion? I guess all in favor of having Ferguson Construction set up the lagoon system to have ponds B and C run in surcharge. All in favor say aye. Aye.
There's 10.
3 ayes and 1 abstain.
So if you're abstaining, how could you second the motion?
Well, because I was thinking about that when I was sitting here, and I thought, I can't vote on that, what the heck am I doing?
Yep.
Maybe I should second that motion.
I think
Seconded
so.
by Linda.
Thank you, Linda.
Good catch, Linda.
Okay. Motion was seconded, so we'll go back and vote with your, did you second that? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed say same. Motion carries, so it was one person abstained and 3 ayes, so motion carries. Engineering staff report / office support. That's the contract that will be used when we need to send out something to be, you know, for a staff package. And I'm just waiting to get the updated signed copy back from KLJ before I sign it. We've already approved me to sign it. There's some couple items in there that I didn't like that they were supposed to have changed, and I'm not gonna sign it until then, so. The evaluate the lift, next item on their list was evaluate the lift station at Ferguson subdivision for water issues, stormwater issues. This is being addressed under Headwaters Economics to include a grant for engineering design for this project and other stormwater issues. The feasibility study for tying into Southern Black Hills water, we have that pending right now. The feasibility study for placing water and sewer along Whitney, that is pending right now. And the feasibility study for evaluating the stormwater along Whitney and the intersection of Whitney and 2nd Street to Highway 79 from South Dakota, Highway 79 for South Dakota DOT for funding / grants. This is being addressed under Headwaters Economics to include a grant for engineering design for this project and other stormwater issues, the same as before. Yes.
Have we heard anything from either Elmer or Headwaters or KLJ about any of this? Just, I mean, I know they're not required to have anything until I think it's the 5th, but I just wondered if anything has been
I haven't heard any update, none, other than since our meeting, but we have
since the
that,
meeting.
that we have that timeline that we have set up, and I'm following that,
Yeah,
so.
okay, I just thought maybe we might have
No.
gotten a little update.
Then the Highway 79 sewer repair bidding and construction management, that is pending. The next item is I request a motion to have the request for KLJ to design the extension to the town's water and sewer lines to serve Ferguson's property along Whitney be removed from the agenda because the Fergusons have chose to go with individual hookups to the sewer and water, which will not require a design and approval from South Dakota DNR. Do I have a motion,
I'll make that.
motion made by Vicky? Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
And discussion. What it was is we had approval for that, to have them look into it and give us a cost estimate. And it don't cost us for the cost estimates, that's part of their proposal stuff, that it don't cost us. And the cost estimate came in too high. Actually, the requirement that all the state stuff has, it would be, the design would be more, cost more than what the construction would be.
Yeah,
So,
gotcha.
if no further discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed say same. Motion carries with one abstain.
Yeah.
So 3 ayes and 1 person abstained. Next item, under Public Works, Chuck is sick tonight, was not able to make the
I
meeting.
know he has reported those street lights that are out. I don't know if they got down to fix them or not.
Don't know if- Do either of you have, we've kind of been going along with what's been doing on
Yeah,
the
we've
water
been,
and sewer.
you know, we're just plugging away at it here, so.
The next item under Public Works was the contracts, the maintenance contract, and Public Works and maintenance contract and the inspector's contract. We went over them in a work session. Stuff was added to them, you know, based on the work session. And I guess now I just request a motion to approve and for signing the 2 agreements for performance of services of Public Works and town maintenance and inspection for the 2024 and 2025 years.
I'll make that.
Motion made by Vicky,
Second it?
seconded by Linda. And any discussion on them? One of the things, if you go under snow removal, we talked about in the meeting that it'd be 3 inches, but then also in the meeting, they talked about, well, what if the temperature and stuff is different? So that added that into the contract. Responsible for snow removal when there is 3 inches of snow or more. The current temperature and future weather forecasts and moisture content of the snow will also be taken into account when making the decision to plow snow. Close coordination is required with the president / vice president prior to any snow removal. Because what we don't want to do is, you know, they get, it's not like a lump sum, they get paid when they do the work. So what we don't want to do is if it's going to be 70 degrees the next day, we don't want to send them out to do some snowing. But at the same time, if we get 2 inches, like Dan had mentioned, 2 inches of some really slush stuff, and then they're calling for 3 or 4 days of, you know, below freezing, that we want to have the ability, the decision to be made to go out and do the snow plowing.
Agreed.
And
Definitely.
there was another concern on it. To the town lands. I'm looking for. And we talked about the rate increase for the calendar year 2025 will be addressed during the development of the 2025 budget.
Yeah, this is from before.
Yep, I agree.
So,
And I'll just make a statement on
Yeah.
that, $1 million, insurance, he does already have $2 million insurance.
So we raised it to the 2 million, because that's what he has.
And when I called the insurance gal, though, she said,
Okay. Yeah, I'm just my eyes.
she was kind of, she said, that's kind of outrageous,
Yeah.
a request. You know, and also, I think it needs to be noted that every other contractor that has a license to operate in the town of Hermosa only has $1 million, including our own dam house work.
But we went with the
That
two
should be looked
because,
at too then,
Yeah,
Huh?
needs
That
to
should
be
be
gone
looked
back
at.
through.
also then.
yeah, we went with the 2 million because we already had it. And so that's what we put in here, so.
You know, if it's good for one, it's good for another.
Well, you know, and the prices have gone up so bad that
Well, yeah, and, I mean,
For
Chuck already
everybody.
had,
everybody,
yeah, he already had the $2 million put in place, so.
very good.
And there was something in here about fluoride, but I don't know. It'd be under pump house. Anybody see where it mentions fluoride under the pump house or general water works, flushing the hydrants, record samples for chlorine?
The fluoride was an issue because it's easier to test when you're looking for problems, and then the fluoride doesn't change or something, and so that was
Yeah,
a
but
discussion of putting that in.
Someone had made the comment that they thought it was in here that he was supposed to sample for the fluoride, but I don't see it in here. Maybe Gail might have taken that out then. But anyway, is there any further discussion? If no further discussion, all in favor for approving of these two contracts as written?
Aye.
I say aye. Motion,
Here's,
and when it's, what's that, where is it?
under the pump house responsibilities,
It's under the pump house responsibility?
there's chlorine pump.
Monitor fluoride, chlorine, and phosphate tanks.
Where's that at?
Go up pump
Second
house.
page in. I thought we have the old one, you know.
Right here, it was under this part. Right here. Monitor fluoride,
Oh,
chlorine.
okay. So let's go back again, and I request a motion to have the fluoride struck out of the contract.
Would you read it exactly first, please?
The motion?
What it
What
says
it
about
says, okay.
fluoride in the contract.
Okay, under the pump house, it says, monitor fluoride, chlorine, and polyphosphate in the tanks. That's the water towers. And what Chuck was saying is that he's not required now to do that by the state.
So that can be removed from his contract.
So,
Okay?
The reason we used it was for checking for leaks,
yeah,
and that's not the,
yeah,
it would
that's,
not be in the tank for
yeah,
monitoring, then
Yeah.
that would just be for, more like emergency or, you know, problem areas or whatever, so yes, I would agree with that.
So, I just requested amendment to the original motion to strike fluoride underneath the pump house, item 1, 2, 3, bullet item 5. Can I have a motion for that?
Yep.
I'll second it.
Motion made by
Same motion, same second.
Vicky and seconded by Linda. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed say same. Let's go back now to the main motion. All in favor of approving the main motion as modified, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed say same. Motion carries. 3 voted aye, 1 abstained. Can't believe I was looking at that and you looked over at it and seen it like, there it is.
I keep checking this because the battery is low on it. In case you're wondering.
That was under Public Works. Next item on the agenda was a bolted tank and on the interior floor and the floor ceiling on the new water tank. Right now, it's not leaking bad, and I think in the last meeting we just said we're just going to be monitoring it. So. Next thing we could look at is open work orders. And there was a request by Joan to be refunded because and we can go into the packet to see that. But I think what I would like to do is not make a motion on this at this point in time. I just because Chuck's not here, and what Chuck provided is that it actually was her issue, where Joan is saying it wasn't her issue. So until we look at that further, I don't think we won't take any action on that right now. We'll just leave that pending.
Good idea.
So where I thought I was gonna be making a motion, I didn't. Because without Chuck here to do it, we don't want to go forward. Next item on the agenda is F. I request a motion for 170 North Wilder for garden meter refund. The garden meter was never used. The refund would be based upon Chuck's evaluation that the meter is still operational when we get it back. May I have a motion?
Sure, I will make that.
Motion by Vicky,
I'll second that.
second by Linda. Any further discussion? Any discussion?
So the refund will not be issued until Chuck has.
Yeah, what we want to do, we're going to approve it to be refunded
If.
if it's still operational.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So we won't be taking, refund won't happen until Chuck gets the meter back and says it's good. And then once he says, yeah, it's still operational, then we just do the refund. It'll already be approved. Okay, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say the same. 3 ayes, 1 abstain.
Why do I have
No,
to?
no, you don't have to abstain. I'm
I was
sorry.
gonna say, why do I have to?
No, you don't have to
abstain?
abstain. So it's 4 ayes. Okay. I request a motion to remove agenda items. Item C, and then actually remove 280 Manning Street from item E. Because that's under And then an agenda item F. So,
Okay.
motion made by Vicky, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Donna. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say the same. 4 ayes, motion carries. Finance officer,
Jerry,
yes,
I thought you had said that item E was gonna be pending the 280.
well, it is, because that's part of it, but, well,
You can't remove it if it's pending.
That's what I was
Yeah,
sitting here
good
thinking.
point.
Also. I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah,
okay,
And actually,
so we can't remove item E.
can't remove item E. Do we need to revote on that, Mitch, or do you just say we don't remove item E?
Is the open work orders attached, stay on the agenda, and then, that's what I thought you.
That's what I thought you said too, you were just removing the
Just removing the
280
subpart.
Manning.
Yeah, but 280 Manning, but we didn't resolve the 280 Manning, because that
so it
is,
needs to stay on.
that
Well-
is Jones' house, right?
That is Jones. It's not resolved, however, it's still on the open work order list, so,
Yeah, it's on the open work order list, so we can just address it again, so.
right.
Yeah, so we can go ahead and remove 280 Manning from that then.
So we can take 280 Manning off.
Yeah, and we can
Leave
just take
the-
that off, but we leave E in.
Right.
Yep.
And you're kinda the same way with the garden meter refund, I mean, we don't know for sure,
Right.
but,
We'll take it off, because what Gail's been doing, and then she'll work with Jody on it, is when we take something, say we approve to do something, and so we take it off the agenda, well, they put it on an open
open list. Okay, gotcha.
list, and that'll be coming up under the finance area. That way we track everything until it's done, even though but we take it off the agenda itself.
Gotcha.
So all that can stay as
way it
was
was.
then, as motion as made and approved. Okay. Yep. Thank you for your comment. Okay. Under the finance officers, monthly financials.
Okay, so Gail has the bank statement reconciliation here that you can look through, and you also have the budget report, of which there is some overages that obviously will be addressed in the supplemental budget. Any other questions that you see on there, you will have to relay to me to give to her tomorrow.
No
How's that?
worries.
Okay. No department updates at this time. The grant research, we're nothing on it at this time.
No, nothing, no.
Item D, E, and F were all handled in the last meeting, and I failed to request them to be removed, but they are done.
D, E, and F will be removed, you're saying?
Yeah, and I'll have a request to do that here later. And then the tracking items, the next deal on there, that's what I was talking about, Linda, is that when stuff comes off, it goes to the tracking items.
I see that.
And
So
so when
what
you,
you're gonna add to that tracking items, we're gonna add the garden meter
yep,
refund.
Yep.
And Jones,
And Jones
280 Manning.
request.
then that'll be, we'll just have it highlighted again to look at it when we bring up the open work orders.
Okay,
Okay.
gotcha.
Next item under finance is I request a motion to reinvest the ARPA CD $500,000 that has a maturity date of 12/8 of 2023. And on that, we don't, I think these are for 3-month stints, I believe, extensions, and we don't see using the money before then, so. So I request a motion to reinvest the ARPA CDs that has a maturity date of 12/8. Do I have a
I'll
motion?
make that motion.
Motion made by Linda, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Vicky. Any discussion? If no discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed say same. Motion carries. I request a motion to remove agenda items 12D, E, F, and H.
I'll make that.
Motion made by Vicky, seconded by
I'll do it.
Linda. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed say same. No. Motion carries. 4 ayes. Old business. The annexation, the voluntary annexation, this is actually due to uncontrollable circumstances. It seems like it just keeps on getting put down just because we don't have enough time. I talked with Gail on that the other day. I think it was on Monday. And as she turns over some of the stuff to Jody and let Jody, starting to, putting the stuff in the computer, that she'll put together the package that needs to be put together to get that started, so. And next item on the agenda is Hermosa Connects. Their next meeting is gonna be December 11th, 9 a.m. in the coffee house.
You said December 11th,
Yeah, at 9
9
a.m.
a.m. is the next meeting.
And what Gail usually does for that, and she'll be able to show you, is she does a printout of how all the B&B money has been spent. And what the budget, or how much we have in that fund, so. The next item is new business, the Southern Black Hills water presentation, still pending. We're gonna have to change that to mid-December, mid to late December. The last we discussed with them, they thought they were gonna have something to us, but they don't yet. Under Headwater Economics, Joan's not here, but I kinda gave a little bit of an update on what they're gonna be doing and kind of a short timeline, but I believe it's gonna happen, and we're gonna get some money and some grant money, and we can actually even have the grant money be 10% more than what it actually costs to help offset some of the town costs. Because once you get a grant, I've never dealt with one before, but I guess it's pretty time consuming to do all the paperwork after the fact and all the reporting. Next item on the agenda is Anderson Engineering. We'll leave that pending. Shorb's easement requirement, until we get something done with, in a final agreement with how we're gonna move forward with Southern Black Hills Water, who's gonna do that stuff. So I just request a motion, and this is not on the sheet here. I request a motion to table this item.
I'll make that.
Motion made by Vicky. I made a mistake, that was the first one. What? Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Donna. All in favor, say, any discussion on it? If no discussion, you okay, Linda?
Yep, okay.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say same. Motion carries. So it was just a request a motion to table item D. Okay. The town office camera system investigation, I don't know if Gail has heard anything more on that, but we'll be tracking that.
Pending.
And the leasing of the shop, in the past, we made a motion and it was approved to go out and to advertise for lease the shop. The advertisements release is out. It was submitted to be, it'll probably come out in next week's paper. And what, I think it's in, if it's sitting in front of everybody here, I think.
Right here. I think that's where it is. Yeah.
And pretty much it goes through and describes what the shop is. It says the lease will be for 1 year with 4 option years. You're okay, you're all fine? Okay. So that is out and we'll be waiting for sealed bids.
Okay.
Next item on the agenda is in the past meeting, we approved to have Joan work for the town as a contractor at $25 an hour, not to exceed $2,500. And what we have here, I just request a motion to sign the services contract with Joan Harris. That was approved to enter into this contract in the last meeting.
I like that.
Motion made by Vicky,
I'll second that.
second by Linda. And it's also attached in here. Any discussion? If no discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say same. No. Motion carries, 4 ayes. And this is for Pumping Lagoon. This is just kind of an update. Linda and I went down and visited with the Mayor of Hot Springs, their lawyer, their engineer, and the operator of the treatment plant. And they said they were gonna go back to their town board, and they did, and so it looks like the cost will be about 1/2 cent per gallon until 31 December 2023, and then just over 1 cent per gallon from that date. They said they could take up to about 2,500 gallons a day. And as we talked earlier, it looks like trucking is gonna be probably our only option. Set up so we can run in surcharge B and C, so if there's bad weather, we'll be able to hold the water until we can get it trucking. But and we already, in the past meetings, we made a motion and got it approved to advertise to do the trucking. So I think I'll be getting, being that was already approved, I think I'm gonna be getting with Anthony of KLJ and just have him revamp the advertisement that he had. And it's pretty much, it's gonna be for just trucking pretty much to Hot Springs. There was a talk in the past about going with, all the way over to Boulder Canyon, but they wanted like 3.5 to 4 cents a gallon,
And it's further.
and it's further.
And
So it just would not compete, so we're not even gonna do it.
Yeah.
So we'll be going out and trying for the trucking to get it down there, so. Because the pond is rising.
Sure is already.
The next item on the agenda, I request a motion to go forward with the remodeling the town office as discussed in the November 14th, 2023 work session. The cost for the materials will be under $3,000. The labor will be provided by self-help. Do I get a
I'll make that for discussion.
motion made by Vicky,
I'll second it for
second
discussion.
by Jenna, and here's the discussion.
So, who do you think's gonna help?
What's that?
Who do you think is gonna help?
I've already talked to Bob about it.
Okay,
He seems interested.
okay.
I'm interested.
I knew you would be, but you're gonna be gone.
No. I'm
Part
gonna
of
be
the
coming
time.
back.
Okay,
I talked about doing it, coming back on the, to be back on the 19th meeting, come back on the 18th, and then do it the last part of December. And I was told
Can't imagine by who.
by,
Santa.
there ain't
I
no,
believe that might be
ain't no
Santa.
way with all the year-end items that no one's gonna be pounding. But, I'm gonna be around most likely in the first part of January too, and that's where I look at trying to do it.
What are
Okay.
you gonna do?
It's stuff that I used to be able
Remodeling
to
the
do, but I
office,
can't do it anymore.
That office?
This whole office.
Well, you don't want me to paint, so don't ask me to
Well,
paint.
I can paint within a foot of the floor.
What's that?
And not up to the ceiling. I can do the middle.
And I don't know if I have,
This area here will be some walls put up, and there'll be two different offices here,
and then there will be an office
and
there,
an office there.
and the finance office will be back there, and that other office will be filing, and,
So this is gonna get moved downstairs?
Downstairs.
yes.
I don't know if Bill knows this either, so I'll go ahead and just say it if it's all right, Jerry. The reason being is because we're gonna have to have another office staff. So there will be 3 or 4 office staff in here, and each of them need their own space and their own room. And so, and we'd like a little more room for when the meetings are larger. This one's the smallest I've seen, and I don't even know how long.
Yeah.
However, they have been quite large, the amount of people coming, and there'll be more space down there for people. So hopefully more comfort.
And one of the things in the contracts that we signed with Mr. Ferguson Construction is that the town will be providing him office space. In the past, it's been in the kitchen, well, then it makes it so you can't use the kitchen, so. And it won't deal with any structural walls at all. There will be no changes to the existing walls. And the walls won't go all the way to the ceiling, they'll go to the top of the windows. So there's ventilation above, there'll be louvers through, so we won't be messing with the balance of the mechanical system. And there won't be any electrical, because there's enough electrical there already. There'll be nothing with plumbing, so no structural, no electric, no plumbing. And so that can be done by self-help, so.
Okay. My other question is pertaining to parking. Could we ask Mr. Halsworth because in the past he allowed the police department to park down there, if he would consider allowing handicap parking down below?
We can ask him. Let's put that on the agenda for the December 5th meeting then.
I did come up with an idea, were you at that? Yeah, you were
Yes.
there.
You were, the one thing Chuck brought up was you have to watch that, there's a pipe down there.
Turn off.
over
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, we'd have to
So-
raise
But other than
that.
that,
Get
you'd have to ask.
access, we have to walk around the
Yep.
building down there?
Yep.
Yes.
Is there a sidewalk?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
there's
there's a sidewalk.
sidewalk.
And there's, under these contracts that Chuck has, that all has to be shoveled.
Okay.
So,
But you'd have to also
I'm-
ask DOT
Yeah,
for
we have
what
to
you're
call
after to see
DOT.
if they'd let you tear that out. for
There's enough
curbing.
space out here in front of the building for 3 cars. It's not a parking area yet, and it is curbed.
I get a spot right in the
You
front.
get a spot in the front.
At the
Oh,
door.
yeah. Special
Down there.
attorney.
Yeah.
yeah, you go ahead and park there. I'm sure
See,
Dan probably won't turn you in for trespassing,
It would be,
but anyway.
Does he own the adjoining property or
Yes.
something?
yes.
We only
that's-
we have
But
3
see,
feet
he was-
past the driveway, so.
He did allow the police department to park down there, so I'm hoping that his generosity is he will allow handicap parking down there.
He never showed up, did he?
Not yet.
It just dawned on me. So I'm moving right
Would you
along.
like me to call Zucker on that?
Sure.
Yeah, if you're,
Okay.
yeah, just call and say what's on the sidewalk. What's with this, why we haven't, we really like to get billed for the sidewalk, so we can get it on the,
What,
in
are you going
December.
back?
she's just going
No.
back to ask about Tom's knocker. Oh,
No,
oh,
I'm
oh,
talking
beyond
about
this.
parking and the.
Oh, okay, I thought you were going way
Oh.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and ask him.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sure it'd be at the town's expense, cause you
Oh, I'm
just, you
sure.
just put it,
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm sure it would be, but we have to have approval to do that on a state highway.
oh, yeah.
oh, yeah.
I will talk to Zocker and see what he says.
Okay, we had discussion on the motion to go forward with the remodeling the town office as discussed in the 14 November 2023 work session. The cost for materials will be under $3,000, will be self-help. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say same. Motion carries. Water connection issue at 355 Main Street. That was taken care of in the last meeting. I request a motion to remove this agenda item from the agenda and place it on the tracking list until it has been completed. It was approved to have Chuck Ferguson do the required repairs in the past meeting.
I'll make that.
Motion made by Vicky. Do I have a second?
Can I second it, because my husband's name is mentioned?
I'll
We're-
second it if it
yeah.
just makes it easier.
Seconded by Linda? No, that would be easy to do because it, yeah, that's fine. Okay. Any discussion?
Where are we talking? 355?
This is,
40, isn't it?
no, it's,
No?
yeah, Joe,
Yeah.
yeah. He came and his wife was in the meeting at the last meeting, and they had concerns that way back in the highway, when the highway was put in,
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah,
water
yeah.
line was disconnected, and, yeah.
Okay, sorry about that one.
Yeah, and I forgot to request it to be removed last time, so that's what I'm doing now.
Okay.
Okay. If no further discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye.
Abstain. I abstain.
Okay. 3 ayes, 1 abstain. Motion carries. Now we're gonna go to the second readings for ordinance 154.02, definition of planning and zoning commission. Ordinance 155.02, definition of planning and zoning commission, and chapter 32A.
Just 1 second here.
Yep.
I'm getting that.
You need a bottle of water?
No, these are short ones. Because these you just have to read the preamble on these ones.
Oh, you're talking that you're on the ordinances right now, right? I wasn't prepared for those.
Want me to read them?
Yeah, go ahead,
Oh,
Nick.
go for it.
An ordinance amending the town of Hermosa ordinances to adopt SDCL section 11-4-11.1, allowing the Hermosa Board of Trustees to act and perform all of the duties and exercise all of the powers of the Planning and Zoning Commission by amending the town of Hermosa ordinance section 154.02 definitions to amend the definition of the term Planning and Zoning Commission. Be it ordained by the Hermosa Board of Trustees to enact an ordinance amending the town of Hermosa ordinances by adopting SDCL section 11-4-11.1, allowing the Hermosa Board of Trustees to act and perform all of the duties and exercise all of the powers of the Planning and Zoning Commission by amending the town of Hermosa ordinance section 154.02 definitions to amend the definition of the term Planning and Zoning Commission as follows. This is the second reading.
No, do we need to make a, you got all, okay.
No, we're doing them separately.
Oh, we'll do them separately, okay.
A motion to pass.
I request a motion to approve ordinance 154.02, definition of planning and zoning commission.
Like that?
Motion made by Vicky, can I have a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Donna. Any discussion? If no discussion, all in favor say aye.
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 Do I need to abstain?
Why?
Well,
Because
when we,
my husband's on P and Z.
No.
no, this is different, this is different now because we're not, yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
No. I'll let you know.
Thank you.
So there is, all in favor
Yeah.
say aye, there is 4 ayes, it carries. Motion carries.
Okay, an ordinance amending the Town of Hermosa ordinances to adopt SDCL Section 11-4-11.1, allowing the Hermosa Board of Trustees to act and perform all the duties and exercise all of the powers of the Planning and Zoning Commission by amending the Town of Hermosa Ordinance Section 155.02, parent D, parent definitions to add the definition of the term Planning and Zoning Commission. Be it ordained by the Hermosa Board of Trustees to enact an ordinance amending the Town of Hermosa ordinances by adopting SCCL Section 11-4-11.1, allowing the Hermosa Board of Trustees to act and perform all of the duties and exercise all of the powers of the Planning and Zoning Commission by amending the Town of Hermosa ordinances Section 155.02, parent B, parent definitions to add the definition of the term Planning and Zoning Commission as follows. This is the second reading.
Okay, I request a motion to approve ordinance 155.02, definition of Planning and Zoning Commission.
Make that.
Motion made by Vicky. Do I have a
I'll
second?
second it.
By Donna. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Oh, go ahead.
With this, I know this is a far-fetched story, but if, let's say next spring, all of a sudden it takes off and we have 100 new houses that want to get built right away, and we want to reinstate a planning and zoning because we don't have time for this,
1 year.
we have to wait the 1 year from this now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Can those be removed from the agenda then, since they're
Well,
second
I'm not-
readings or not?
Yeah, no, I'll get to that. We got another
It
one
is
to
on
do.
there.
Yeah, we got another one to do yet.
Okay,
Yeah, no.
okay.
Okay,
All
now
those in
chapter
favor?
34.
No, no, all those in favor?
Oh, okay, yeah. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? No. Motion carries.
An ordinance amending the Town of Hermosa ordinances to adopt SDCL Section 11-4-11.1, allowing the Hermosa Board of Trustees to act and perform all of the duties and exercise all of the powers of the Planning and Zoning Commission by repealing Chapter 32 in its entirety and creating a new Chapter 32A. Be it ordained by the Hermosa Board of Trustees to adopt SDCL Section 11-4-11.1, allowing the Hermosa Board of Trustees to act and perform all of the duties and exercise all of the powers of the Planning and Zoning Commission by repealing Chapter 32 in its entirety and creating a new Chapter 32A as follows. This is the second reading.
Nice
Okay.
job, Mitch.
I request a motion to approve chapter 32A.
Make that.
Motion made by Vicky. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you.
Second by Donna. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, a lesson for a new finance officer. When you publish these, and they have to be published in the paper verbatim in their entirety. Just.
You just had to read the
you have
heading
to
on
read
it, correct?
You read the
But the
preambles
whole
for
thing
ordinances,
has to be-
resolutions have to
Yep.
be read in their entirety for whatever reason, I don't know why. That's the rush.
Yep.
So
And
when we
Thank you.
publish these in the
Figured that.
paper, which is the Custer Chronicle,
Yeah.
and they have to be published in their entirety, so we send these in a Word document, hopefully to the, you should have it in a Word document here, because I drafted these and sent them to you guys.
Yep.
So
Okay.
there were 3 separate ones and we
Three
actually
separate
sent
motions.
3
Yep.
separate.
Yep, and they all gotta be sent to the Custer Chronicle.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Okay. Request drainage study on Lone Coyote Development and Carriage Hills. I'll request the motion, then we'll see if I get a motion made, and then we can go in discussion. I request a motion to require drainage studies and design of the stormwater systems for Lone Coyote Development and Carriage Hills Development, and to require the plats be updated with the design of the stormwater system based upon the stormwater study, showing all culverts, drainage ways, retention ponds, to ensure the intensity of the flow off the site are no greater than those before the construction. And that the current plats are no longer approved, and they will have to be resubmitted with the design of the stormwater system incorporated into the plat.
Like that.
I'll second it for discussion.
Yep, motion made by Vicky, seconded by Linda. And motion made, and I'll start the discussion, and then we can go on. It was identified by Elmer Claycomb, these two developments do not have a drainage system and do not have a designed stormwater system. To ensure all future potential flooding will be addressed prior to construction, there needs to be a stormwater study and a stormwater design accomplished and incorporated into a new plat and approved prior to any construction. This is one of the items that Elmer has really been talking about, so I'll open up to any further discussion. Go ahead.
Can we do that? I
I
mean,
don't know
we
what you're
already,
talking about.
we already approved their plats.
Mhm.
And now
Somebody
we're,
objecting?
now
Yes,
the engineer, the floodplain coordinator, and he's an engineer that has helped
Yep.
us, is complaining because there was never a drainage design in
And-
the plat.
and the thing is, if we don't do it, it's gonna be a disaster.
Well, I understand that, but
I'm
that
just
doesn't,
trying
if
to
we
think of
legally
why you
can't.
can't have a separate, it's not gonna, throw out our plats, why can't we just,
The plats will have to be updated.
why can't we, yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Just update what we've got on record.
But the plats right now would not be,
Right now, we've got, everything was, Custer County approved it as well, so. Cause they had approved.
and one of the things, if we go back and look at our ordinance, what our ordinance says is that if it's a plat that's requiring like sewer and water and everything be put in,
Mhm.
that the plat stays temporary until, and you can go back and read this also, but the plat stays temporary until all those things, all those roads, sewer, water is put in, and that's when they can, that's when the plat goes final. So it'd just be a preliminary plat until then. And then, and a preliminary plat is only good
Well, we
for
talked-
3
we
years.
talked to the auditor over there and the Register of Deeds in Custer County, I mean,
No, we talked to nobody.
Yeah.
well, I just, who's complaining right now?
There's not, what it is nobody is complaining. What it is it was not done. And it was not done by the engineer. And the same engineer that was doing the town at that time.
Okay, what does our
was-
new engineer say?
What's that?
What does KLJ say?
Well, we can go back and talk
I
with,
would ask them
we can go back and talk with them too, but
to find out.
pretty much-
I don't think we need to restart the whole process here again. I would ask them what, if we can get something of record to show the drainage plan that's been approved, because this was approved by the town.
the drainage plan was, there was never a drainage plan to be
Well,
approved.
We can add to it, we can add to the plat, you can record.
But the thing is the plat already shows where the streets are gonna be. It shows where the sewer is gonna be and the roads are gonna be. And when you do the drainage study, you're gonna have to have retention ponds in order to hold the water back, so the intensity going off the site is no greater than it
Isn't
is.
there property up on a big hill back over there?
Yeah, and there's an
There's all
old,
kinds
Everything should be draining down, shouldn't it?
and there's an old dam there, but they plan on just, if you look at the plat and the deal, the whole thing is gonna be covered
And
with
so what is,
houses and roads.
What is, what's their name again? What does Lone Coyote think of all this? I mean, they're the ones selling their lots.
And there's not a drainage plan up there either.
No,
Well,
Can't imagine.
Renner and Sperling did their engineering up there. Why would they put together a plat or a lots? Have you looked at the plats and make sure that they're not on there?
What's that?
Have you looked at the plats?
There hasn't
and
been
make
a
sure
drainage
there's not
study.
a drainage?
Elmer looked at them. The engineer looked at them.
and looked and
Something
looked.
doesn't add up. They had their own engineers, why, I don't know why they would put together a plat without looking at the drainage situation.
And that's one of the things that Chuck Ferguson has looked at that also, and he said it's gonna be a nightmare, for the drainage, because there's so many gullies and stuff that you cross, and it's gonna,
I don't know anything about that. All I know is that it doesn't make any sense since you've got the engineer up there putting it together. I don't think we put together the plats. The Renner and Spurlick did.
Yeah.
And then they submit it, we approve it, and Custer County approves it, it gets recorded, and they were all recorded.
and
And they
at
were
the time,
But they were recorded without,
they recorded without drainage
Okay,
plans.
and so at this
It
juncture,
it was overlooked or whatever, it wasn't done.
well, that's what, I'd want to see the plat, and make sure it's overlooked.
Yeah.
Number two is, at this juncture, what does our engineer believe? And I would present that to Renner and Spurlock. Say, we're in this, where's your drainage study?
And
I
that,
don't know why the town would pay for a drainage study. when
no,
it's
we're
their
not gonna
project.
pay
No,
for
we're
it.
not.
We're not paying
So what
for
is
it.
this on the agenda for then?
It's to make sure it
those
happens.
plats are
Oh.
incomplete.
They're incomplete, and we cannot let the construction go forward on that, because we're gonna have issues. And the thing is, the engineer the city engineer is the one who evaluated Renner Spurlick's project. She's the one who actually designed and did the deal for Dan, and didn't require drainage projects. There was a drainage project required and retention required for 1 acre for the Dollar General and for my 4 acres. So the way it was done in the past is not consistent. And what Elmer Claycomb is saying, who's our design engineer, and right now, we're going with Headwaters Economics to try to get design packages and stuff to fix things, because there was never ever studies done in the past, so we don't, things are a problem, like how it's piling up at the bottom of Whitney and Seconds.
okay. New battery.
I would have KLJ involved in this. Has he sold any lots up there yet? Or is he?
Oh, I have not.
Who's that, Preston's?
Preston's, not that I know
Not
of.
that I know of.
But I would certainly have our engineer look at this and,
And
what's that thing? Yep.
A ringtone, I would guess.
No, it's, my guy, the singer, what's his name?
Neil Diamond.
Neil Diamond, yeah.
So whose ringtone is
I
that?
turned it off. So that's
it
really
overruled.
weird.
But
I would have KLJ to take a look at this.
And if
figure
not-
out what we need to do, and then go to Renner and Spurlick and say, what do you mean? You're selling lots up here without a drainage plan.
And the thing is,
Makes no sense.
there's one other item that where things weren't handled consistently in the past, is for the new addition going west on Hermosa Hills. When they started doing that, Leah required, you gotta have a drainage plan.
Okay.
And then they wanted to go and work with the state, and they start doing the drainage, and the town put up a fit because there wasn't a drainage study done yet. So not only do we need those drainage studies, in the past, things weren't done consistently.
Okay, well, I agree.
But the only way forward now is we just need to make it right.
So we
So-
need to figure that out, and the engineers know a lot smarter than lawyers, so we need to fix this.
So what we'll do then is,
But Renner and Spurlick needs to,
yeah.
and the Prestons need to fit the bill for this.
Oh yeah, it'll be their bill,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, it'll,
And also for Carriage, Hermosa Carriage Hills, I think that's Dan's property.
Yeah.
So,
Where's that at?
just straight up this street here.
all this. And we are,
Is there houses there now?
no,
No.
not yet, no.
It's just platted?
We're right
So
here.
you're saying even on the Carriage Hills plat,
There's no,
there's no drainage?
No.
there's no.
What are we gonna do, a bunch of French drains? Is that it?
Well, no, what they need to do is, there has to be a hydrogeologic study done as to how much flow and where it goes. And then we need to design the streets and the roads that has to be designed such in the
Right.
culverts and everything that can handle the
No, I
water.
get all that, I just.
And they have to have
It
a-
happen. It makes no sense to me, why
Yeah.
you would sell 100 homes up there, or 200, or whatever it is, without a drainage plan.
And
You're just asking for neighbors to start suing their neighbors.
And if I remember, I'll go back to a meeting that was in summer of 21. Bill was at the meeting, and Bill asked the question. He says, "I've seen water just flowing down through there and filling that whole thing up on the other side. And how are you going to take care of that?" And the guy from Renner Sperlich, he just says, "Well, we're gonna, it'll get time, and it'll go down the street and go down another street." And
Go down
But they-
Critic.
but they
On
never
Second
did
Street.
really answer the question.
My question here, Mitch, is now that the plat's already approved and it's already, approved by the county, it's already there, can we legally require them to do that? That's a question I have. I mean,
Well, why wouldn't they do that though? It makes no sense, because they're gonna have, well, number one, they're gonna get wind of this, I'm sure it'll be in the paper,
right.
about there's no drainage plan up there. And that'll, buyers beware, and then you're gonna, it doesn't make
I would
sense
think that
that they
they're
wouldn't
even
wanna make
pushing
their
the
property
issue of
saleable,
selling
because
everything out there right
they're just,
now.
if they haven't had proper drainage, they're gonna have neighbors suing neighbor, and then the developer's gonna get sued. It doesn't make sense that drainage would not have been considered, and so. I
And
say
drainage has
it
been
needs to be
considered,
brought to
it had to
everybody's
be-
attention before we have,
Yeah.
if we're aware there's a potential problem here, we need to get to the bottom of it.
And we can't go forward with it. If they don't want to replat it, that's their concern. But the thing is, just because it's platted, the town does not have to issue building permits.
Okay, right.
No, that's true. It's true.
So it's to their benefit to take care of it.
I think it will get taken care of.
Yeah.
And we need to figure it out, but we
Yeah.
need to get it out in the open
Good.
before, Joe Smith and everybody else starts buying lots up there and going,
Yeah.
just like that, those people that bought the property in Blackhawk or Somerset
Yeah,
over the caverns,
Yeah, if you just look at Carriage Hills right there, there's not a single retention pond or anything there, so everything's gonna be flowing down that way. It's a lot of study to make sure that the roads, if it's just gonna be flowing down the road, you're gonna have people down on the bottom that's just gonna get
Yeah.
pushed.
I don't know how that works, but I would be pissed off.
Well, look at the flow that goes in.
Yeah, I would be pissed off if I got everybody's water sitting in my yard.
Yeah, but,
Basement.
I requested a motion, we opened it for discussion. I would, at this point in time, let's let it fail. All in favor of the motion, say aye. All opposed,
Nay.
say nay. Because we wanna let this fail. And then what we'll do is I'll get with, KLJ and have them get with Elmer and look what needs to be done. But we just, if they don't wanna update their plats and do this, then. And another thing that maybe if you could do, Mitch, is go back and look at our ordinance, because I believe it says that if the plat has the water and sewer stuff in it, that the plat stays preliminary until all of that infrastructure is put in. And then the plat can go
I'll
final.
look at it.
And so, not only did we don't have the drainage into there, we might not have been following what needed to be done, because it was, yeah, so. But
I
anyway,
mean, Custer County has ordinances too on flats.
There it is,
Follow. Really?
yeah, and they don't require,
They just rubber
Drainage
stamp what
studies.
we tell them. Okay. Jeez. Only
yeah. Okay.
Not chocolate. Yep.
So what we're doing is, that motion didn't carry, and then I'll go back and get with KLJ and have them look at it. But this is something that, I will need a motion now, because this is something that would go under KLJ's, engineering, staff report contract, so. I request a motion to have KLJ look at the Lone Coyote development and Carriage Hill development plats to evaluate the way forward and the requirement for the stormwater hydrologic study and stormwater design.
I'll make that.
Do you really wanna put the design in there? Because it's probably up to John's
Oh, yeah,
attorney
that's true.
to put the design and.
No, they're not gonna they're not gonna do the design.
They're gonna.
They're just gonna
Evaluate it.
They're gonna evaluate it and say, determine that there is that requirement.
Okay.
The requirement that, yes, the plat has to be redone. Yes, ma'am.
If you already had your headwaters guy look at it and said that there isn't any stormwater, why are you gonna pay somebody else to look at it? I don't see why the citizens should have to pay for something they already
Good point.
paid Elmer for to look at. He's the,
Well, what Elmer, yeah, I understand your input, and what Elmer said is he did the research to see if it was there, and it wasn't there. So I believe what we're trying to do now is to have KLJ look into it and see how to move forward.
Because it's not part of the headwaters deal anyhow, right?
No,
But it just happened to.
well,
get
he
flagged while was
needed
doing
that
it.
information to do his job, and that
Right.
information wasn't there.
So you need a second.
Thank you for your input. So we got a
I made the motion.
motion, do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Donna. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? No opposed? I said an aye. Motion carries. And what they will do is, I will request them to put together a cost proposal on that specific item to let us know how many hours they see it's gonna be, and submit that prior to them using that. Now, item number M. Gonna be a long one.
I'll need some of it if you need me.
Yeah. You can read the short one.
I can read part
I'll
of
do
it too.
it.
I'll just start when you guys.
Okay,
board.
Town of Hermosa resolution readings. 05/2023 Clean Water State Revolving Fund Issuer Resolution.
Okay, resolution giving approval to certain sewer facility improvements, giving approval to the issuance and sale of a revenue bond to finance directly or indirectly the improvements to the facilities, approving the form of the loan agreement and the revenue bond, and pledging project revenues and collateral to secure the payment of the revenue bond, and creating special funds and accounts for the administration of funds for operation of the system and retirement of the revenue bond, and providing for a segregated special charge or surcharge for the payment of the bonds. Whereas one of the purposes of SDCL Chapter 9-40, the Act, as found and determined by the legislature, is to provide for financing the acquisition, maintenance, operation, extension, or improvement of any system or part of any system for the collection, treatment, and disposal of sewage and other domestic, commercial, and industrial waste, or any system for the control of floods and drainage, or any combination thereof, together with extensions, additions, and necessary appurtenances. And whereas a municipality is authorized by Section 6 of the Act to issue revenue bonds to defray the cost of extensions, additions, and improvements to any utility previously owned without pledging its credit, and is authorized to pledge the net income of revenues from the project in accordance with Section 15 of the Act. And whereas the town of Hermosa, the town, currently operates a sewer system for the collection, treatment, and disposal of sewer and other domestic, commercial, and industrial waste, and for the control of floods and drainage, and has determined that improvements to the sewer facilities are necessary for the conduct of its governmental programs and qualifies as an improvement, extension, or addition to its sewer system. And whereas the town has determined to issue its revenue bonds to finance improvements to its sewer system for the purpose of collecting, treating, and disposing of sewage and other domestic, commercial, and industrial waste, the system, and is applied to the South Dakota Conservancy District, the district, for a clean water state revolving fund loan to finance the improvements. Whereas the town shall adopt special rates or surcharges for the improvements to be pledged, segregated, and used for the payments of the bonds.
You want me to read?
Go for it.
Now therefore be it resolved by the town as follows. Section 1 definitions. The term when used in this resolution shall have the following meaning set forth in the section unless the context clearly requires otherwise. All terms used in this resolution which are not defined herein shall have the meanings assigned to them in the loan agreement unless the context clearly otherwise requires. Act means South Dakota Codified Laws, Chapter 9-40. Loan means the loan made with South Dakota Conservancy District to the town pursuant to the terms of the loan agreement as evidenced by revenue bond. Project means the town of Hermosa wastewater lagoon expansion and Gumbo Lily Lane addition improvements. Revenue bond means the revenue bond or bonds issued the date of the loan agreement by the town of the South Dakota Conservancy District to evidence the town's obligation to repay the principal of and principal interest and administrative expense surcharge on the loan. System means the town system of collecting, treating, and disposing of sewage and other domestic, commercial, and industrial waste. Linda.
Section 2, Declaration of Necessity and Findings. 2.1.1, Declaration of Necessity. The town hereby determines and declares it is necessary to construct and finance improvements to its system described as the project. 2.2, Findings. The town does hereby find as follows. 2.2.1, the town hereby expressly finds that if the project is not undertaken, the system will pose a health hazard to the town and its inhabitants and will make the town unable to comply with state and federal law. 2.2.2, because of the functional interdependence of the various portions of the system, the fact that the system may not lawfully operate unless it complies with state and federal laws, including SDCL Chapter 34A-2 and the Federal Clean Water Act, and the nature of the improvements financed, the town hereby finds and determines that the project will substantially benefit the entire system and all of its users within the meaning of Sections 15 and 17 of the Act. 2.2.3, the town hereby determines and finds that the purposes of the Act, including in particular Sections 15 and 17 of the Act, only the net income from the project financed by the revenue bond be pledged for its payment. Section 3, authorization of loan, pledge, and revenue and security. Want me to keep going? I can.
Let Mitch.
Okay.
Where are you at?
Right here.
3.1.
3.1.
Authorization of loan. The town hereby determines and declares it necessary to finance up to $698,600 of the cost of the project through the issuance of bonds payable on the revenue of the project and other funds secured by the town. The town hereby determines that because the revenue bond is issued in connection with financing agreement described in the SDCL Section 46A-1-49 pursuant to Section 15 of the Act, no election is required to issue the revenue bond. 3.2, approval of loan agreement. The execution and delivery of the revenue obligation loan agreement, the form of which is on file with the finance officer, and open to public inspection between the town as borrower and the district is hereby in all respects authorized, approved, and confirmed. And the president and finance officer are hereby authorized and directed to execute and deliver the loan agreement in the form and content attached hereto, with such changes as the attorney for the town deems appropriate and approves for and on behalf of the town. The president and finance officer are hereby further authorized and directed to implement and perform the covenants and obligations of the town set forth in or required by the loan agreement. The loan agreement herein referred to and made a part of this resolution is on file in the office of the finance officer and is available for inspection by any interested party. 3.3, approval of revenue bond. The issuance of a revenue bond in a principal amount not to exceed $698,600 as determined according to the loan agreement in the form and content set forth in Appendix B, attached to the form of loan agreement. The revenue bond shall be and the same is in all respects hereby authorized, approved, and confirmed, and the president, finance officer, and other appropriate officials shall and are hereby authorized and directed to execute, seal the revenue bond, and deliver the revenue bond to the district for and on behalf of the town upon receipt of the purchase price, and use the proceeds thereof in the manner set forth in the loan agreement. The president, finance officer hereby authorized to approve the loan terms of the revenue bond, and the execution and delivery thereof shall evidence that approval. The revenue bond shall be issued under the authority of SCCL Chapter 940 and SCCL Chapter 6-8B, and the provisions of the Act are hereby expressly incorporated or herein is provided in Section 19 of the Act. 3.4, pledges of revenue. The revenue bond, together with the interest thereon, shall not constitute a charge against the town's general credit or taxing power, but shall be a limited obligation of the town, payable solely out of the project debt service account, which payments, revenues, and receipts are hereby and in the loan agreement pledged and assigned for. The equal and rateable payments of the revenue bond shall be used for no other purpose other than to pay the principal of interest and administrative surcharge on the revenue bond, except as may be otherwise expressly authorized in the loan agreement, including the purpose of securing additional bonds issued as permitted by the terms thereof. The town covenants and agrees to charge rates for all services from the project or establish special charges or surcharges which shall be sufficient to provide for the payments upon the revenue bond issued hereunder as and when the same become due, and as may be necessary to provide for the operation, maintenance, and repairs of the project and depreciation, and the rate resolution shall be revised from time to time as to produce these amounts. The town hereby reserves the right to determine on a periodic basis the appropriate allocation of operation and maintenance expenses, depreciation, repair, and reserves associated with the facilities financed with revenue bond, provided that such determination of allocable operation and maintenance expenses shall in no event abrogate, abridge, or otherwise contravene the covenant of the town set forth in Section 3 or any other covenant or agreement in the loan agreement. Want me to keep going?
You want me to?
Go ahead.
Section 4, special charge or surcharge for revenue bond. 4.1, the town does hereby create the revenue bond special surcharge district, the surcharge district, which shall include all users which benefit from the project. There shall be charged a special charge or surcharge pursuant to Section 15 of the Act for the services provided by project financed by the revenue bond. A special charge or surcharge shall be segregated from other revenues of the system and shall be used for the payment of the revenue bond. A special charge or surcharge shall create net income remaining from time to time after first paying all reasonable and current expenses of maintenance, repairs, replacements, and operation sufficient to fund interest, reserve, and debt service fund annual requirements, and shall be 110% of the debt service requirements on the revenue bond. 4.2, rates and collection. The rate here in specific will be collected as a special charge or surcharge for the project. The special charge or surcharge shall remain in effect until such time as the revenue bond is defeased or paid in full. 4.3, initial surcharge. The initial special charge or surcharge shall be set by resolution and collected at the same time as other charges of the utility. All users within the surcharge district which benefit from the project, current and future, will be charged the special charge or surcharge. The special charge or surcharge is found to be equitable for the services provided by the project. The special charge or surcharge shall begin at such time as will produce sufficient revenue to pay principal of interest and administration surcharge on the revenue bond when due. 4.4, segregation. The finance office will set up bookkeeping accounts in accordance with the South Dakota legislative audit guidelines for the segregation of the revenue, special charges, and surcharges. 4.5, periodic review. The amount of the surcharge will be reviewed from time to time, not less than yearly, and shall be modified in order to produce such funds as are necessary and required to comply with the loan agreement's rate covenant and to pay principal of interest and administrative surcharge on the revenue bond when due. The surcharge may be set by resolution in accordance with this section. The rate resolution shall be necessary for the support of government and shall be effective upon passage.
Section 5, additional bonds as permitted by Section 8 and 9 of the Act. Additional bonds payable for revenues and income of the system or project may be issued as permitted in the loan agreement, and no provision of this resolution shall have the effect on restricting the issuance of or impairing the lien of such additional parity bonds with respect to the net revenues or income from the extensions, additions, or improvements. The town shall have the right to issue additional bonds secured by a lien subordinate to the lien from the revenue bond pursuant to loan agreement. Section 6, project fund accounts. For the purpose of application and proper allocation of the income of the project and to secure the payment of the principal, administrative surcharge, and interest on the revenue bond, the following mandatory assessed segregation shall be included in the sewer system account of the town and shall be issued solely for the following respective purposes until payment in full of the principal of and interest of the revenue bond. 6.1 project revenue account. There shall be deposited periodically into the project revenue account the net revenues as defined in Section 17 of the Act derived from the operation of the project collected pursuant to the resolutions and ordinances of the town of Hermosa, South Dakota, collectively the rate resolution. Monies from the project revenue account shall be transferred periodically into separate funds and accounts as provided below. 6.2 project debt service account. Out of the revenues in the project revenue account, those should be set aside no later than the 25th day of each month into the account designated project debt service account as sum sufficient to provide for the payment as the same become due the next maturing principal of interest and administrative surcharge on the revenue bonds and any reserve determined by the town's governing body to be necessary. The amount set aside monthly shall not be less than 1/3 of the total principal, interest, and administrative surcharge payable on the following February 15, May 15, August 15, and November 15, and if there shall be any deficiency in the amount previously set aside, then the amount of the deficiency shall be added to the current requirement. 6.3 depreciation asset account. There shall be established a general depreciation account out of the revenues of the project revenue account. There shall be set aside each month a general depreciation account, an account determined by the Board of Trustees to be a proper and adequate amount for repair and depreciation of the project. 6.4 project surplus account. There shall be established the project surplus account, revenues remaining in the project revenue account at the end of the fiscal year after all periodic transfers have been made therefrom as above required shall be deemed to be surplus and shall be transferred to the project surplus account. If at any time there shall exist any default in making any periodic transfer to the project debt service account, the Board of Trustees shall authorize the finance officer to rectify such default as far as possible by transfer of money from the project surplus account. If any such default shall exist as to more than one account or fund at any time, then such transfer shall be made in order such funds and accounts are listed above.
When not required to restore a current deficiency in the project debt service account, monies in the project surplus account from time to time may be used for any of the following purposes and not otherwise. A, to redeem and repay the revenue bond when and as such revenue bond becomes payable according to its terms. B, to pay the repairs of or for the construction and installation of improvements or additions to the system. And if the balances in the project debt service account and the project depreciation, sorry, I went blank there too, account are sufficient to meet all payments required or reasonably anticipated to be made therefrom prior to the end of the then current fiscal year. Then, letter C, to be held as a reserve for redemption and repayment of any bonds of the system which are not then but will be later be prepayable according to their terms. Or D, to be used for any other authorized municipal purpose designated by the Board of Trustees. E, no money shall at any time be transferred from the project surplus account or any other account of the fund to any other fund of the town, nor shall such monies at any time be loaned to other municipal funds or invested in warrants, special improvement bonds, or other obligations payable from other funds except as provided in this section. Section 7, approval of paying agent and register. The revenue bond shall be payable at the office of U.S. Bank National Association, St. Paul, Minnesota, hereby designated as paying agent and registrar. Section 8, approval of the bond counsel. Meyer Henry Sargent LLP is hereby retained as bond counsel with respect to the revenue bond. Section 9, tax matters. The interest of the revenue bond shall be excluded from gross income for federal income tax purposes under the Internal Revenue Code of 1986 as amended the code and applicable treasury regulations, the regulations. Section 10, covenants. The town hereby covenants and agrees with the district and other owners of the revenue bond as follows. 10.1, the town will punctually perform all duties with reference to the project, the system, and the revenue bond required by the Constitution and laws of the state of South Dakota and by this resolution.
10.2, the town agrees and covenants that it will promptly construct the improvements included in the project. 10.3, the town covenants and agrees that pursuant to section 25 through 27 of the Act, the lawful holders of the revenue bond shall have a statutory mortgage lien upon the project and the extensions, additions, and improvements thereto required pursuant to the Act until the payment in full of the principal and interest on the revenue bond, and the town agrees not to sell or otherwise dispose of the system, the project, or any substantial part thereof, except as provided in the loan agreement, shall not establish, authorize, or grant a franchise for the operation of any other utility supplying these like products or services in competition therewith, or permit any person, firm, or corporation to compete with it in the distribution of water for municipal, industrial, and domestic purposes within the town. 10.4, the town covenants agrees with the district and the other owners of the revenue bond that it will maintain the system in good condition and operate the same in an efficient manner and at a reasonable cost so long as any portion of the revenue bond remains outstanding, that it will maintain insurance on the system for the benefit of the holders of the revenue bond in an amount which usually would be carried by private companies in a similar type of business, that it will prepare, keep, and file record statements and accounts as provided for in this resolution and the loan agreement. The revenue bond shall refer expressly to this resolution and the Act, and shall state that it is subject to all provisions and limitations thereof pursuant to section 19 of the Act. Section 11, depositories. The finance officer shall cause all monies pertaining to the funds and accounts to be deposited as received with one or more banks which are duly qualified public depositories under the provisions of SCCL Chapter 4-6A in a deposit account or accounts which shall be maintained separate and apart from all other accounts of the town so long as any of the bonds and the interest thereon shall remain unpaid. Any of such money is not necessary for immediate use may be deposited with such depository banks and savings or time deposits. No money shall at any time be withdrawn from such deposit accounts except for the purposes of the funds and accounts as authorized by this in this resolution, except that monies from time to time on hand in the funds and accounts made at any time in the discretion of the town's governing body be invested in securities permitted by the provisions of SC Sale Section 4-5-6, provided however that the depreciation fund may be invested in such securities maturing not later than 10 years from the day of the investment. Income received from the deposit or investment of money shall be credited to the fund or account from whose money the deposit was made or the investment was purchased and handled and accounted for in the same manner as other monies therein. Section 12, consent to appointment. In the event of mismanagement of the project, a default in the payment of the principal or interest of the revenue bond or any other condition thereof, materially affecting the lawful holder of the revenue bond, or if the revenues of the project are dissipated, wasted, or diverted from their proper application as set forth in the loan agreement, revenue bond, or herein, the town hereby consents to the appointment of a receiver pursuant to Section 33 of the Act, and agrees that the receiver will have the powers set forth therein in Section 34 and 35 of the Act to operate and administer the project and charge and collect rates as described therein. Section 13, severability. If any section, paragraph, clause, or provision of this resolution, the loan agreement, the revenue bond, or any other loan document shall be held invalid, the invalidity of such sections, paragraph, clause, or provision shall not affect any of the other provisions of this resolution or said loan agreement, revenue bond, or any other loan document. Section 14, repeal of resolution. At such time as the revenue bond is defeased or paid in full, this resolution and the special charge or surcharge shall automatically be repealed without any further action of the town. Section 15, authorization of town officials, the president, finance officer, town attorney, and town officials shall be and are hereby authorized to execute, deliver for, and on behalf of the town, any and all certificates, documents, or other papers, and to perform such other acts as they may deem necessary or appropriate in order to implement, carry out the actions and authorize herein. Section 16, effective date, this resolution shall take effect on the 20th day following its publication unless suspended by a referendum. Adopted at Hermosa, South Dakota this 21st day of November 2023. So, a motion.
Okay.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Motion made by Linda, seconded by Vicky. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say same. Motion carries.
Shall we read the last one?
Go ahead.
Resolution 06-2023, Town of Hermosa surcharge for improvements to the sewer system. Resolution amending the town's rate structure, providing for a surcharge for improvements to the sewer system for payment of a revenue borrow or bond and yearly review of rate. Be it resolved by the town Board of Trustees of the Town of Hermosa as follows. Number 1, surcharge for borrow or bond. There should be charged a monthly surcharge for the services provided by the improvement financed by the CWOT Conservancy Loan District Loan. The surcharge for each loan shall be segregated from other revenues of the town and shall be used for the payment of the borrower bond, CWO2, the borrower bond, provided that such surcharge shall create net income remaining from time to time after first paying all reasonable and current expenses of maintenance, repairs, replacements, and operations sufficient to fund interest, reserve, and debt service fund annual requirements. Number 2, rates and collection. The town does hereby establish a special charge or surcharge payable by each customer of its system who receives or benefits from the services of the project financed with the borrower bond. Such charge or surcharge shall be set at a level which, assuming a 10% delinquency rate, will produce income at the times and in amount sufficient to pay when due to the principal of and interest on the borrower bond. That's hard to say. An administrative expense surcharge and all other payments as may be required under the loan agreement and borrower bond. Borrower bond surcharge. The following clean water debt service surcharge shall be applicable to all customers served. Borrower bond CWO2 surcharge, $12.80 per user per month. This surcharge shall remain in effect until such time as the revenue bond is paid in full. The initial surcharge shall be collected at the same time as other charges of the system. The surcharge is found to be equitable for the services provided by the improvements. Segregation. The debt service surcharge shall be segregated from other income of the system in a separate bookkeeping account and is pledged to the South Dakota Conservancy District for the payment of the loan payments on the borrower bond. 5, yearly review. The amount of the surcharge shall be reviewed from year to year and may be modified in order to provide such funds as are set forth herein. The charges shall be reviewed yearly by town and administratively adjusted upwards or downwards to such amounts as may be necessary to pay principal, interest, administrative surcharge, and other charges as may become due and owing under the loan agreement or borrower bond. 6, billing and accounting. The surcharges shall be included in the monthly user bill. Nothing contained herein requires the surcharge be indicated on the billing. However, the surcharge segregation shall be indicated on the books of the town. 7, automatic repeal. The surcharge of the borrower bond shall be automatically repealed when the borrower bond is paid in full. 8, partial invalidity. If any one or more of the provisions of the typo. Provisions of the whatever shall be held invalid, illegal, or unenforceable in any respect or by final decree of any court of lawful jurisdiction, such invalidity, illegality, or unenforceability shall not affect any other provision hereof adopted at Hermosa, South Dakota, this 21st day of November 2023. Need a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by
Second.
Linda. Seconded by Vicky. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Mitch.
And I guess you could remove those 2 items.
Yeah, I think I have that coming up.
Okay. Minimum charge for the phone.
Next item on the agenda is N. I request a motion for the town to charge the minimum charge for water and sewer connections for all connections to the water and sewer system, even if the water taps are turned off for any period of time. If a property does not want to pay these charges, then the meter will be removed and the service capped and separated from the town system at the property owner's expense. When the property owner decides to reconnect the town's water system, they will have to pay sewer tap and new sewer tap and new water tap at the rate in effect at that time. All decisions to disconnect will be recorded in G-Works.
I'll make that.
Motion made by Vicky. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Linda. I'll start the discussion. This was the procedure in the past when Bobby was the finance officer, and Linda confirmed it and thought it was still even going on at this point in time. But it went on for about 2.5 years. Then it stopped shortly after Bobby terminated her employment. The amount the town pays on state revolving loans or USDA loans are based on the number of taps, sewer and water taps the town has. These loans require a surcharge resolution to ensure the town has enough money to make the monthly payments and do the required maintenance. Every property needs to pay their fair share. As an example, say you lived out on a road that had a community road program and you had to pay monthly charges to it. Just because you say you're gonna go on vacation for 2 months, therefore you're not gonna pay the monthly charges because you're not gonna drive on the road for 2 months. Same with the sewer and the water. The sewer and water is there at your doorstep, and if you and not only are we paying just for, because we have the water coming to our tap, we're not just paying for the water. Those rates are paying for past loans, they're paying for construction, they're paying for maintenance, they're paying for repair. So I guess it's my position, I see that we need to charge every hookup the minimum rate. And I know I talked with Linda in the past, just the other day on this, and she thought it was still happening, but it isn't. So,
I thought we'd voted on it. I thought it was in the minutes that we had voted and agreed upon this before, or that we had voted and not agreed upon it. I thought we'd agreed upon it, but
it was agreed upon it and it was actually put into place for 2.5 years.
Yeah, and that's the part, I didn't know it wasn't in place anymore. I don't know.
One of the things that brought it to my attention was when we had Bobby back here and Bobby started doing the billing again, and she asked me the question, and I says, well, I can go back. I said, I know it was there when she was here, it started, Cause for a while, when we'd leave in the wintertime, it'd shut off when we
Payment.
disconnect and shut off the payment. Well, she called everybody and let everybody know that no, everybody has to pay the minimum amount. So for 2.5 years we did, and I don't really look at the bills that close. But when Bobby asked me about it, I went back and looked at my bills, and I was able to show by my bills of, when I'm gone in the wintertime, it was for 2.5 years, and I know when it started and I could see when it stopped. So at some point in time, somebody told somebody to quit doing it. But that's, either here or there. I think we need to start doing it again. When you start listening to the resolution and stuff there, it's based upon the number of homes. And say you have a rental property and you don't rent it for 3 months, so when the renter leaves, the water's shut off, therefore you're not making no payment until 3 or 4 months later when someone comes back and the renter comes back and starts paying it. Well, we're by law required to pay, to have a surcharge on that. We can't just stop for that tap or that water. For all services that are identified, we gotta pay that surcharge. And if you're not paying the bill, you're not paying the surcharge. So,
You ever figure out how it got found?
I don't know and I don't wanna speculate,
Yeah.
but all of a sudden it just happened. When Bobby left, shortly after Bobby left, I think it was there Linda that came in.
Lynn,
Lynn. Well, someone came in and shortly after that it stopped. Like I said, I never looked at my bills until Bobby asked me a question about it, so I went back and looked through all my historical data and found out that all of a sudden it was stopped. And we're not in compliance. So that was, I started the discussion. Any further discussion on it?
I think it needs to go back into place. It only makes sense, just like you said, that you still have to have the facilities whether you're using it or not. So
Yeah,
you
we
need
gotta
to be,
we gotta be able to
paying
make the
for it.
payment. We gotta keep the line,
yeah,
What
The
is
line's up
monthly
to date.
minimum?
about 80.
for water
Well,
and sewer.
that include, yes, water and sewer,
It's
yes.
about 80, yeah. And commercial, it's even higher.
Higher,
Yeah.
and out of town is higher.
Yep.
I still, may I speak? sir?
Oh, yeah, we're in discussion.
I still feel like there should be a lower amount. I think that right now, the ordinance says, 0 to 3,000 gallons is the least amount that can be billed. And I have always felt, that we need a lower rate, little bit lower rate for senior citizens and those on, sorry, Mitch, and that could fit right into on vacation. And I'm not saying much lower,
Yeah.
but I'm saying a little lower, like as in the minimum is now 80. I would like to see it be 60 for anybody that uses under, whatever, 500 gallons or whatever it would be, 500 gallons to 0 gallons. And that's just me. I've thought that forever. I still think it. And so I'm just coming out with it.
And
So you
the
all-
thing is, if when we pay less, we're not, for the water system, I think there's 2 or 3 different loans that we owe money on. For the sewer, there's a couple of them. And so our rate is based upon the bill, and our rate is based upon paying those and doing the daily operation and maintenance of it. And it's based upon that minimum charge, whether, just because one house or 5 rental properties or I leave my campground for a week, or my new property, I have 3 hookups on. I feel we need to all pay and pay the full amount, because we're not, that 1280, okay, it doesn't say anything about being on vacation, you don't have to pay that 1280. my tap has to pay that. And-
I believe the surcharges should still be paid by the minimum. I just think we need another category that is 0 to 500 or 0 to 300 or whatever, for basically the little senior citizen that lives by herself and, doesn't use much water. Like I said, I've always felt that way, and
But then we'd have to go back and make sure that every surcharge, that minimum would cover every single surcharge and cover the amount of maintenance and stuff to maintain it, and I just don't, I'm just looking at Mitch and I don't think we can do that.
You probably couldn't figure, they'd all have to send in documentation and all that too on that.
Are all
Not
those
saying,
loans,
yeah.
they're revenue bonds or all of them so far? I mean, we have other,
I think if we go
Loans
back,
out
I think
there?
we have some USDA loans, we have some state revolving fund loans, but every one of them have had bonds on them, and every one of
you
them,
gotta have
so.
you gotta generate the revenue.
yes.
You gotta be, so. I don't know, Keystone, you all they pay whether they're there or not. They're usually not even around for
And that's big tourist.
6 months.
Yeah.
They pay.
And that's what when Bobby came here,
She
she used to work from
Yeah.
Keystone. She came here and then she implemented that here.
Cause it's the only way you can budget when you gotta
Right.
know what the revenue's gonna be, not guess.
Yeah.
And half the population goes to Arizona.
I can think of one person in particular, very near me, that this will impact a little, so.
Because how would it impact them?
Because they own the property next door, and it's never been lived in since I have lived in my home, which is over 30 years now.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that people haven't, for the ones that have never been used, and when I talked to Jill, those aren't counted anyway, but if the sewer line still goes past that piece of
Yes.
property.
No, it still
it
goes
still
into
has to
that
be-
piece of that property.
It still has to be maintained,
Right,
so if they don't wanna do that, and it's not one of the ones that were counted towards the active ones to pay our debts, and then, like in the motion I made, is that they can request to just have it disconnected at the meter and capped, and then in the future, or their heirs or somebody into the future wants to turn it back on, they pay a new tap fee and just like they're brand new.
yeah. Well, I'm not disagreeing with that, I'm just saying I know it will impact him, and it will, I don't know what he'll do, actually. I don't have a clue what he'll do with that. I've often thought that house sits there and has been unused since
Oh,
I've
there's
been-
a
yeah,
house on it.
Yeah, they're, yeah.
Yeah, there's a
Never
house,
been lived in since
Yeah.
I've been here, 35 years, but
but it's
it's
still
there.
an
Whose
active.
property that is? Huh?
Mills,
Oh,
Well,
yeah, yellow house.
it's a
Yeah.
brown house
Yeah.
that's not lived in, but.
But I mean, we gotta pay for, just like I mentioned as an example, you get a road agreement out in the
Oh,
county,
yeah.
the township road agreement, just
I-
because you're going on vacation for 6 months, you don't get to not pay for 6 months.
I understand all
Yeah,
that, I
so-
just think it's, like I said,
It's
it's just,
figuring the amount.
Yeah.
Well, I think,
And we went through all these heartaches when she bring it in before, and there was people that were
oh
concerned,
boy, yeah.
and then all of a sudden, it didn't happen. It got shut down. Somebody, some board member, must have told them to stop doing it. Because I don't see where either the finance officer or the billing clerk would do it on their own. But that's irregardless. We just need to move forward and do what needs to be right. And what I'm hearing from Mitch is that we need to do it. And so if no further discussion, any comments from the citizens? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say same. Motion carries. 4 ayes. Okay, I request a motion to remove agenda items 14G. I gotta get back to G. G, I, J,
Al?
K, right? We did
Oh, yeah, okay.
the readings. And then L, M,
And then,
and N. Well, I think being we didn't, let's leave L on, because we need to track that, because that's when we need to go back and look at those studies. We're gonna be having Lone Coyote look at them, so we wanna leave L on.
you don't wanna move that into engineering, seeing as how we kinda gave it to them to,
I'd rather leave it here for right now until we
Okay.
see what they say.
alright?
So this motion is to remove agenda items 14G, I, J, K, M, and N.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Linda, second by Vicky. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say same. Motion carries. Now we come to the point, items from citizens.
Who did the last two motions? I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry, I got it.
I did the last one, and Vicky seconded it.
Okay, sorry.
The one
Yeah.
before that was
Vicky and then Linda.
Yeah, I got that one. I just missed the last one.
And I'm gonna leave this with you also then.
Good idea.
Items from citizens. No items from citizens? Trustee input. Donna.
A very informative meeting tonight, I think, with that particular home that Linda is talking about. He is a relative, and I think Chuck talked to him about it and explained, then it won't be a problem.
Linda.
I have a couple things I wanted to bring up, just in case. One is I got to looking at my calendar and realized that January's meetings, as far as normal, are kind of at bad times for the office staff in particular. Right now, the meetings would be on the 2nd and the 16th. And that is already after having days off for Christmas and days off for New Year's, required in, and they're not gonna be able to make their requirements for agendas and minutes. And so I was wondering if the board felt like we could move our meetings. There's actually 5 Tuesdays in the month of January. And if we could just back it up so the meetings would be the 6th and the 9th and the 23rd rather than the 2nd and the 16th.
Okay.
And how everybody would feel about that.
We can't take action
No,
on that
but we
right now.
can make sure it's
But
on next
Can we
agenda.
make sure we put that on the next agenda, because that makes sense, that there is actually 5 Tuesdays there. We
Yeah.
don't have planning, and
Correct.
planning and zoning won't be there. So instead of doing it the first Tuesday, we would do it the 2nd and
It
the 2nd and the 4th.
makes sense timing wise. Otherwise, the next meeting would be, the first meeting in February. I mean, we'd be a long ways in between meetings there.
Yeah,
And so I just thought that might be a benefit to all.
that's good.
Okay. The second thing I had is, no, maybe it's been discussed and I missed it, I don't know. And it is not requirement. I just wondered about a Christmas party, and knowing that, I don't care that it's in December, but if we wanted one in January maybe, or if we wanted to just think about it some more, or I just thought I'd bring it up, that's all.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And we're writing this down to put it on the agenda to change the
Yep.
meeting
Got it.
dates instead of the first
Got it.
first and
Keystone,
second.
we're going to KRS.
You are? Oh, how nice.
And with the finance officer, do you have anything to add? Biting her. Okay, Vicky.
I'd love to see a Christmas party. It just, over the past 5-6 years, every time it was suggested, it was gone by the
Well, we had
wayside.
one. We went
We
to
had
one.
that
Attitude.
restaurant over there. What's it called?
However, I think it'd be great. I think it'd be a good
Yeah.
team builder,
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
so.
That's the only time.
And it's getting close right now, and with everything, why don't we schedule a after the holidays party?
So, I mean, that's fine with me. I don't mind those at all because it's
Bless
so
you.
busy this time of year. you know.
We got all the things that the finance officers have, the budgeting,
Yeah,
that stuff, so. Let's put on the agenda also again to have, after Christmas, after the holidays party.
So you said the 10th and the 24th for the
9th and
meeting?
9th
23rd.
and 23rd.
And
Our
that's the
Tuesdays.
23rd of this.
Other than that, I think it's been a really
I
good
see
meeting,
that.
very productive, lots of information covered. Items brought up that need to be rectified that were let go of in the past, and so I think it's been phenomenal.
Again, I would like to say thanks to everybody.
Bless
Thanks-
you.
Thanks for the citizens to come. Thanks
I'm
for
allergic to this place.
all the input from all the board members. I just want to reinforce to Jody that we do appreciate her. She's learning, just like me. I just took over in June to being the board president. I'm studying, I'm learning, I'm doing, and some people say I'm
Doing a
doing.
phenomenal job.
And
Thank
so-
you.
And so we will be there to help you out when we're looking at agendas. I am very active in looking at what needs to be on the agendas, tracking things. I'm sure training will be paid for if it's out of town, if it's on a webinar. We just need to.
I firmly believe in those training seminars.
Oh, yes. I agree.
And what you might need to do is, so you don't get interrupted 10 times in it, you might just take the computer, go downstairs and log in.
Yep.
Yeah, or close the door and log in.
Lock the office.
But again, I do appreciate everybody. With that said, I request a motion to enter into executive session allowable by South Dakota Codified Law 1-25-2.1 for legal and contract issues
At 8:45.
at 8:45.
I'll make that.
Motion made by Vicky, seconded by
Nice Thanksgiving.
Kath. You need the key to the car. Oh, you have your own? I might need a ride home, Donna.
Happy Thanksgiving, you guys.
I can wait.
Nah, I think you might want to go.
That's not sounding good.
Did Linda second that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is this on the WRT contract?
The WRT contract,
Yeah, did you guys all get my letter today?
Yes, I read it.
Okay.
I haven't, I was busy getting
didn't
stuff
read
ready to
mine all
leave.
the way. I thought-
And we got copies
Is
of
that
them.
her, we got copies.
We got
I was
copies.
gonna say, I hope she left that
It's
file
today-
here.
It's supposed to go to ACES, okay? It's my letter to ACES, November, set to go out tomorrow. But I wanted to make sure I had everything, the factual background covered, because I was confused.
The whole thing sounded good to me, Mitch. I just can't tell you if the dates are
Can-
exactly correct.
Can we wait just a second?
Oh, I'm
'Cause
sorry.
I apologize, Mitch, but I was getting
Go ahead.
ready to leave for Arizona, so I didn't get to it, so I'd
Go
like
ahead,
to
it's
but read
short.
through it.
Go ahead, just read it.
Okay.
I'll make the motion to come out of executive session at 9:20.
Second.
Seconded by Vicky. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say same.
Make the motion to adjourn at 9:21.
Vicky made the motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
I second that.
Second by Donna. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thanks again, everybody, for your input. It was,
Nice Thanksgiving.
You too.
Yeah.
You too.
Enjoy. Are you gonna be at home or?
Yeah, for home.
Very nice.
See ya.
Bye.
Be safe. Yep.
Watch for deer.
I know.
They're dumb.
Huh?
They're dumb.
She's gonna love all my notes on 3 different places.
Go to Express's new truck.
Oh, no.